So I'll be making a teardown video of what I call the white elephant here, although it's more like hen's teeth, something, a very rare engine, 5-force Briggs with 120 volt electric start on it. So I went ahead and pulled the recoil starter off it there. I don't know why, this engine's got like a mint sticker on the front. It's just like, it looks like somebody like stuck that there. It's like brand new. It's kind of strange. But anyway, so that came out without any difficulties there. And then you can see the special flywheel with the starter gear there. And actually, one thing that makes these engines so special is the crankshaft. They extended the crankshaft out to fit the starter gear in. And it's a special flywheel also. The gear looks like it bolts to the flywheel. I see a couple bolts coming through there. So they extended the crankshaft snout out towards the flywheel slightly, maybe 1/4 inch or something, to allow them space for the gear, and then fit this starter on there. I actually removed the starter already. The bolts gave me a bit of fun there. I had to use an impact on them, but I penetrating oiled the whole thing after I made the earlier video. It's only been a few hours since then. But anyway, I'll go ahead and tighten the starter back up there, give you a little run. But the other problem I had was with the head bolts. I got 3 of them here in a vise. This one here takes the normal 1/2 inch socket. Then this guy was shrunk down to 7/16, and this one was down to 3/8. So I had to break out my westward metric socket set. Metric there, and I used them. They have a double listing on them because they fit. If they go on, they work. Now this one's 10mm and 3/8 inch. So what I did, I pounded it on there. It was all back on the engine, of course. And then I had it on the floor here, and then kind of stood on it with the impact gun, electric impact, and it took them out. And there was 2 down to 7/16. I used the next size, which is what's he say, 11mm and 7/16, and that one worked. So these metric sockets, I'll get a big one here to show you what they look like. See, they don't have a hex inside of them. It's kind of round in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But basically, if they go on, relatively tightly, they will take it off because they don't round the corners. They don't grip on the corner. They grip on the flat. So see, there wasn't any chance that one was coming off any other way that I know of, short of welding the nut to it. So yeah, another plug there for the metric westward socket set there that I've had for like 25 years. But anyway, that got all the head bolts out. So I'll screw a couple of them back in, and I'll actually give you a run of it here with the starter, spinning it over. So here I'll just plug the 115-20 volt starter in there, and hopefully it doesn't dance off the workbench because I got to hold the camera with the other hand. And she's even got spark. Give her a little tap there. There, electric starter works. I'll peel it off and show you more details of it there. So here's the 120 volt starter. It's got, I believe it's a brass gear. Looks kind of rusty, but I'm pretty sure she's brass if I can get it to extend out there. So it looks like it's a pretty well built starter. It's held to the block with 2 bolts there. And Look like a car starter. It's got a support bearing on the end, and like a pretty good quality unit. Had a little fun getting these bolts out, but penetrating oil and impact gun took them out. So that's the 5-horse Briggs starter. And then it bolts up to the block and using this bolt and this one down here. And of course there's the gear on the flywheel that it mates to. So now I'll proceed to tear the head off and the crankcase cover. Well, it's got some half decent scores in the cylinder there. I'll try to tip it without it sliding. What we see down there, see some scores. Spin it around. Scores on the other side. Yeah, my fingernail hangs up on some of them. So I have to assume it was an oil burner. Hard not to be with that many scores. But strangely enough, I think this engine ran not that long ago, because the here you get the cylinder head here. You know, it's black with carbon, but it's not thick. Funny thing is, I'm trying to focus in on there. See the depth of those? They're like little carbon stalactites hanging off it there. I've never really seen that before. Strange. Yeah. But like I say, it's not carboned right up. It's possible somebody had it apart, but the valves, they're not like you know. Check the much movement there is. There's very little movement in either one of them. So it's it could have been a good running motor. Yeah, I don't want to score it unless somebody ran it low on oil. Or normally these engines don't overheat because the cooling fins don't get plugged up like they do on oh, we got something there. That's weird. The cooling fins, but they don't plug up like lawnmowers do. There's you know, not much dust and dirt and stuff flying around in the winter. Well, I'll get that crankcase opened up there. Well, got the crankcase cover off there without too much difficulty. But they must have tried getting this thing running for a long time, because the crankcase has like a strong gasoline smell to it. I never really had that before. The oil poured out really thin. I thought it was water in it, but now I'm not so sure, because it's got definitely a gasoline type smell to it. So anyway, it might be spending the night outside to air out. Anyway, I'll pull the rest of it apart here and see what the con rod looks like. I trick with a wood block on top of the piston to unscrew the recoil starter. So rotate it over till the piston can't turn anymore, and then I have a special tool for smacking the end. But basically I just put a chisel on each side, and I can't remember what, I didn't even have to hit it. Next thing I knew, I think I just tapped the chisels in, and next thing I knew the flywheel popped off. So it's a special flywheel here. You can see it's got the gear's separate, and it's extended to accommodate the gear there. So anyway, I'll take the crankshaft out. Well, there, got the crankshaft out of it. Glad to see that all the main bearing surfaces, etc., are good. So you can see the difference in this special crankshaft here. Just better look at the not pointing the camera where I thought it was. This rusty area here, like you see, it's, I don't know, extended about 3/8 or half an inch there from a normal one. So that's, like I say, to take up the extra depth of the flywheel. Now the piston here, it actually looks in good shape. You see that funky looking oil stuff there though on the con rod. I do see a wear spot. I suspect they tried to run this thing with the gasoline thinned out oil there. I see I put a wear mark in the con rod. Same thing in the cap. But other than that, it's actually in quite usable shape. Another look down the cylinder there. You got a little score there, but it actually it doesn't look as bad now. Of course, there's no dirt in it to highlight where the scores are. Anyway, like I say, I gotta haul this thing outside for tonight because it's it doesn't really smell like gasoline, but it's pretty close to it, so I don't want to leave it in my house, stink the house up overnight. So that's good that the special crank's all good there, and flywheel starter, all that stuff for the White Elephant 5-horse electric start Briggs snowblower engine. Like I say, it's the first one of them I've ever gotten from a scrapyard, so that was a lucky find today. So thanks for watching the video. The other thing these engines have actually is this this thing that goes on the recoil starter there. It's to keep snow out of it. You know, it screws on the crankshaft there. So this little extension helps keep snow out of the recoil starter. I've seen them on 8-horse snow blower engines also. Just a little unique feature there. So Briggs did make them for special use on snow blowers. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and glad it worked out that the engine's in relatively good shape.